I can't believe it's over. I actually beat Hi-Fi Rush, and man, I really didn't want it to end. So this gives you an idea on what this review is gonna be like. Thanks to my review copy given to me by Keymailer. Also, shout out to Roku the Shinigami for also giving me a copy of the game. I really completely enjoyed this game from beginning to absolute end. There was not a single second of the game that I disliked. I can't stress it enough. From the combat, to the style, to the music of the game. To put it simple, this game is a work of art. And really, for only $30, I could say with confidence that I believe the game could arguably be worth a lot more. And the game is short and sweet as it should be, and really the pacing of the game is absolutely perfect. There was not a single time where I felt like I didn't want to play this game. The gameplay just kept mixing it up right when it needed to. When it comes to doing insane, crazy combos, the satisfaction is at an all-time high when you're on beat to the music. And I swear it has a completely different skill check than most action games. Hi-Fi Rush is a fresh, new, and fun, exciting experience that I think everyone should play. It's something to the action genre that really just feels new, and I swear I don't think there's a game like it. Simply making the game rhythm-based really took this game to the next level. I swear, you're gonna have so many moments when you're just actively listening to sounds just to pick up on them so that you can play the game. It's like, man, it's a game you actually have to play. You cannot just sit there and use your instincts and play it. You have to actively listen and look around while you're playing the game, especially on harder difficulties, which makes the experience that much more fun and engaging. There were so many enemies that honestly gave me kind of a hard time due to the rhythm-based gameplay, because really there was no type of hand-holding. It was either play the game the way it's supposed to be played or don't play at all. And maybe that could be a turnoff for some players, but honestly, it was an experience unlike any other. Fighting an enemy only for them to force you into a random rhythm game right before you kill them is something that has you on the edge of your seat, because literally at one mistake you will die, and it really makes the game exhilarating in its own sense. There were so many times I was sitting there trying my hardest. The game was pushing my limits, and I had myself feeling completely revigorated because of this game. The game honestly gives you life. It completely wakes you up. It forces you to wake up and play it. If the amazing character designs, the personality, and the absurd combat wasn't enough to get your attention, I promise you the characters and all of the non-stop action in each stage will, because watching every single stage move on beat with the game is something that I have not seen in any other game. And when you fight and have everything flow in complete harmony, I swear it hits different. When you're using assists at the right time, parrying moves when you should, and then having every single part of the stage move the way you do, in sync, I swear it's like you're making music while you're playing. As you should, because you're playing the game on beat. One of the best parts about Hi-Fi Rush is the very fact that it stands on its own 2 feet against other action games. At times when I felt like I was doing an air combo in Hi-Fi Rush on beat, it was very reminiscent of every time I would do an air combo or rev my attack as Nero in Devil May Cry 5, but again, it was different because this time I had to play at the game's pace. And not only that, it was very reminiscent of whenever you would hit a combo in Killer Instinct only to get rewarded with a nice song for every single attack you were doing. This made Hi-Fi Rush that much more satisfying, making me actually want to play good, making me want to get better at the game so that the game itself would come to life while you play it. With the presentation of the game, it was just absolute fun and chaos with little to no restraint, yet the game can remain heartwarming at specific moments. I swear, this game really did make me feel alive at points. And for those of you that already played the game, you may understand what I'm talking about, but specific story beats, the comedy, and so much more within the game really just pulls a lot out of you. If it isn't Zanzo doing multiple JoJo poses just for the sake of doing them, It's fighting Rockfort while he's a giant mechanized wolf, and he's doing an attack called the Big Bad Wolf, and he's literally trying to blow you away as if you're one of the 3 little pigs. The game has character, and that is something I literally can't stress enough. If you couldn't get that just from looking at it at a single glance, then there's nothing more I can really tell you. But what I will say is I'm tired of drab, dull, generic, and dark settings in my video games, and this was definitely an amazing change of pace that I think the industry needed. Not only just the industry, but Xbox as a whole. And I think they really did well to get Bethesda and have a game like this under their belt, even for a $30 price tag. Because to put it simply, Hi-Fi Rush is what video games are all about. It's all about the journey and not the destination. It doesn't matter what kind of multiplayer ranking I'm getting. It doesn't matter about what prestige I'm going to make, but it matters on whether or not the game is going to make me walk away and feel some type of way while I play it. And that's what this game does perfectly. And really, without saying anything, the game does end up saying a lot. And especially when you listen to it, because one thing it does, it touches upon the message of corporate control. You know, everything being overrun, making things be aligned in a specific way, rather than having the freedom of making what you want, doing what you want. Just like our main character, Chai, he wants to be a rock star. However, he gets granted a robot arm. Now, how does being granted a robot arm really come into play with being a rock star? That's something the game really tries to pull at when it comes to the main character. Without the advanced technology, our main character is nothing. And this ideal begins to be pushed on him later on in the game. However, the best thing that really come and realize out of the entire situation of the game is that the main character and you can work with what they got. Being granted a robot arm, regardless of the fact, the main character is going to be a rock star. Even when he doesn't have his guitar, he's going to be just that because he has the freedom to choose and actively want to do that. And if you notice, all of the enemies in the game are robots. Corporate slaves, if you will. Yes, these robots do retain their own personality, but they're ending up fulfilling the biddings of others and not really doing what they actually would want to. And it's sad because they aren't in a position to complain because this is what they're made to do. And honestly, this game is a reflection of the current gaming industry. Games have to be made to fulfill a specific requirement to that of gamers. A game has to look a certain way or be a certain way to find any type of enjoyment. And it makes you question whether or not the games that we're receiving are really what gamers want. And in the end, just because it's made out to be a certain way, we as gamers and as people just accept these circumstances. Like a robot, we just do what we're made to do, rather than being like Chai and wanting to be the rock star that we want to be. In that sense, the story of the game really pulls at the heartstrings. And considering this is a game about playing guitar, I couldn't be more literal. No pun intended. It does pull at your heartstrings. This $30 game, much like its main character, takes a stand and also fights against the corporate rivals it's up against. And it's proud to be its own thing, its own entity. And that's what truly makes this game special. And I think the $30 price tag is well more than enough to pay for this game. Honestly, it's definitely worth more, and I want to go back to it as soon as possible. Because games like this really don't come out often, and it's something that should never be forgotten. The only complaint I can give this game is, why the f*** isn't there more games like this? I want more. And with that being said, I give Hi-Fi Rush a 10 out of 10. This game is a must play, and don't get deterred from being offbeat when you first start the game. Don't get frustrated, just continue picking at the ice, and I swear, you will find the gold underneath.